Hi. Hello. Hope you had a great day today. Go ahead and share this feed with family and friends, anybody that you love, honey. You want them on this live, okay? Because we're going to get into some really good information. Not going to be on here long tonight, but long enough for you to change the financial path that you're on, to strengthen it, to make you better, to make you stronger, definitely financially, right? And really just to equip you with the information that you need to really, really, really dominate in the earth. Because there are definitely a lot of changes that are happening, and there are a lot of things happening that I know that if you knew globally, you would be so clear and strategic on what it is that you need to be doing. I always say during times of economic crisis, inflation, things like that, that's when you see people making a lot of money, but they got to know what to do, how to do, when to do, and all that. And we have created an amazing community here that will definitely put you in a position to be able to really thrive. So go ahead and share the feed with some family and friends, and then we're going to get into it. So I was blessed to be able to put together a pretty amazing, progressive, thriving community of brilliant minds, educators that are, I mean, they're just brilliant. They just really are. I mean, honestly, I'm a benefactor of their brilliance. And so I was contacted by a very good friend of mine who we were blessed to make a couple million together in 2007, 2008, 2009 in the beauty industry. And then he went on and ended up starting his own nutritional company with six main products that are absolutely phenomenal: a multivitamin, collagen, organic CBD, coffee, a detox tea, whoop, which really works. Okay, my waist is looking real snatched, so I'm really excited about that. But a detox tea and vitamin called Flare that basically helps you with your energy. And so he had called and said, "Hey, Jewel, what are you doing in the world of investing?" And I said, "Well, I've been heavy involved in crypto for the last 7 years, but now I'm getting ready to go heavy into real estate. I started buying a lot of real estate, Gretel, in 2016 in the city of Detroit, buying single family homes. And then I had already determined last year, L'Oreal, that I wanted to come back into real estate, but this time in the area of multifamily homes. And so, anyway, I just started reaching out to a lot of people that I would know that I would need in me doing my deals successfully. So I reached out to my chief operating officer, who is brilliant when it comes to systems and numbers. And I said, "Hey, how would you feel about teaching a community, about, what you've done, for my entities?" She's like, "Yeah, I think that'd be great." And then I reached out to Marquita, who's my chief marketing officer. And I said, "You've done a really amazing job with marketing, branding, brand establishment, brand expansion." And I said, "How would you feel about, teaching tequila?" She's like, "I'm in." And then I reached out to Phil, who is completely brilliant in real estate and owns a couple thousand units as a partner and a few hundred on his own. And the brother really just understands deal evaluation, knowing location, what to look for, equity, cash flow. I mean, he really has a depth in real estate. And he said, "Yeah, I'm in. I would love to do it. I want to make impact." Then I reached out to Brianna, who is completely brilliant in credit, because a lot of times when people think of good credit, they think, personal credit, business credit, but it's not just about having good personal credit or business credit. Hey, Dominique, I'm for you in 2 seconds. It's not just about having good, personal credit or business credit. It's like leveraging it, using that credit to actually build wealth. And when you look at the wealthy and you pull back their portfolio, most of them have tons of real estate in there. And the other thing I want you to know, they did not use their own money. They didn't use their own money, right? And I think that part is really, really important. They did not use their own money, but they used other people's money, but they had to have good credit. So having good credit is extremely important, because that's going to be the thing that allows you to be able to really build your assets and continue to build. And then we have relationships with a mortgage broker who's completely brilliant, Candace, with structuring the deals, looking at the interest rates, making sure you know how to read the HUD statement. She actually helped me read one on a close that I'm getting ready to do on Friday. And, we were going over all the numbers and, was there a prepayment penalty, the interest, did everything look like we expected it to look? And so those things are really important. Real estate is not anything you just want to be like, oh, I'm about to jump into real estate. All real estate deals are not created equal. And you want to make sure that you have a community of people that you're able to ask questions and that you can trust, that will give you, not just the education, but also give you different real estate scenarios, so that you can kind of look through it. Then I teach on global economics, and I taught this afternoon. I teach every Wednesday. It was really good, I have to say so myself. But we went over, I look at current news, and we were just looking at how there's tons of conversions happening right now with commercial property into residential property all over the nation. All conversions are not the same. They talked about those conversions. And then they also talked a lot about how, a lot of the apartments that are being built are luxury apartments. I mean, that's the problem, because what are we going to do with the affordable housing people? You know what I mean? Those people that need affordable housing. And so we were just talking about how these companies, these private equity firms, are buying up tons and tons of property. Well, whoever owns the property makes the rules, they make the laws. And so they can kind of set prices on rental comps, how to look for a rental comp, how to look for, an equity comp. Like, there's a lot that you really need to learn it being a savvy investor. And I don't want you to pull away from it. I want you to lean into it, because this is an opportunity that you guys really have right now to come into a community like Tavaverse and really get the support that you need, like in real life. And so I'm going to bring on one of our members and partners. This brother, Dominique, is doing some pretty amazing things in the real estate field. And I'm just excited. We've already done a lot of business together. We're going to continue to do a lot of business together, because at the end of the day, we want to help the individual. We want to help the everyday person be put in a position of home ownership. So Dominique, welcome today. I'm glad you're on tonight. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, of course.
So, okay, let's get into it. First of all, how long have you been in real estate?
So I really went in full force about 3 years ago. Prior to that, I sort of was able to learn a little bit about real estate. My parents were in real estate. They were landlords, and I was able to really take, what they learned and some of the mistakes that they may have made and really refine that and think about my vision, right? But when I first started, I didn't really want to be into real estate. I kind of fell into it because of my parents, right? But then I was able to really see my vision. I was able to really network with others and really figure out different ways to do things and how to be innovative and really build something that could be a legacy.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm just curious. I'm always curious about this. My parents were entrepreneurs and very successful for many years. And I just kind of saw the success. I saw the work ethic, but I can't say that they really talked to me a lot growing up about strategy or even challenges. Like, I really didn't know when there were challenges until we got to a point where we kind of lost everything at 19. But before then, I never knew the challenges. Did your parents get into the weeds with you about investing?
Yeah, so I think it's really nuanced, right? Because I think, as far as people who look like us, right? Business credit, understanding how we can leverage other people's money, understanding how we can be creative and get into creative deals. All of that wasn't something that I learned until I went into the real estate journey on my own, right? But I definitely knew some of the challenges. I really was able to see firsthand what it could bring you. And we're thinking about generational wealth and having property and being able to own. I was able to see that, but really getting into the intricacies of really seeing like how I can expand this, how I can really take this to the next level was something that I didn't learn until later on. And, I earlier heard you talking about just having a network of people. And I think as I've been able to network, hear other stories, hear other testimonies, work alongside other people, I've been able to really think about my vision and figure out how I can really maximize my wealth within real estate.
Got it. So how much would you say your, the success that you've had in real estate was from mentorship? What percentage would you say?
I would say 70%, right? I would say, because I can also think of my parents as being mentors, right? And just seeing things firsthand. I really learned like the construction side of real estate, being able to go in and do renovations. That's what they were really helpful with, being able to manage relationships and understanding what it means to be a landlord, managing tenants and all of that, like the property management aspect of it, but like the business aspect as being able to scale, being able to really see a vision and really build out a business. That was 100% mentorship and really learning from others, being able to meet others who are doing similar things and asking questions, right? That's why I think, having a network is really important. And yes, mentorship has been crucial in my real estate journey.
Yeah, I always love to ask, people that have had, any level of success, what that is, because I think sometimes people don't realize like it's a big deal. I mean, the portfolio that I built in 2016 was definitely because of mentorship, and the portfolio I'm building now is more mentorship. And honestly, without the grace of God, and of course, I'm diligent and I'm aggressive and all that, and I like to ask tons of questions, but definitely the community has been, like a huge, huge part to the success that I've had. And even in the continued success, I think sometimes people feel like, oh, I had a mentor, but I'm good now. Like as long as you want to scale, you're going to have to be around people that are doing bigger than you, faster than you, better than you, bigger than you. And I think that's why Topaverse is, we're having the success that we're having, because it is an amazing community where people can come in and actually learn, ask questions, and then of course we meet and get together. So I wanted to ask you, even with now, when we look at, demographics, race demographics, and I know that you have, your company is a turnkey model that we are partnered with, where the house is already together. You guys do all the rehab, and then you give the tenant over Section 8. So all that buyer has to do is basically find out what property management company they want to use, and now they have a cash flow turnkey situation, which I think is amazing. With the investors that you've worked with over the last, has it been 3 years, right? I think.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that it's been pretty male dominated, right? Is that right?
Definitely male dominated, Asian or white dominated. It's just really great to be able to see people who look like myself or look like us, being able to tap into this, right? Because they are building generational wealth. They are able to sort of have just that knowledge at birth of what they can do to build wealth, right? So just like having that community and being able to work alongside people or just have a thought partner, I think is just really important.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I think we brought your first couple Black females to you. Yay.
Yes, it's been great.
So that's been amazing. It's crazy because you've been doing this 3 years and they've been male, and there haven't been any people of color. And I'm sure there are people of color that you were talking to before we partner together with Topaverse. And when you talk to a person of color, I would imagine it was a male, and maybe they said, hey, I want to get with you. What do you think end up stopping them from actually pulling the plug and investing with you?
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of overall, I think confidence, right? I think people often are like, all right, it sounds like a great idea. They see others doing it, and really having the confidence to really just take that step forward and do it, right? And even myself, when I first, thought about this journey and was sort of going like the traditional route, a career and all of that, it was like, do I want to invest? Do I want to take this on? Is this going to be lucrative? Like, what are the risks? And like thinking about the negatives. And it's like, no, like I actually, got the confidence to step out on faith and do it. And it's been life-changing ever since. So that's like the biggest thing. Like, let's follow up. Let me think about it. Right. So being able to just do it. Right. And you're going to have to take risk in any type of entrepreneurship. Right.
That's strong. So you got a lot of, let me think about it. Let me
Mhm.
pray about it, right?
Yeah.
Let me talk to my spouse. Let me talk to the dog, let me holler at the cat real quick. And
Right.
but like you said, I think confidence. And I think this is why I'm so excited about this community. And those of you that are watching right now, listen, I really want to encourage you to connect with the person that invited you on here. Like, you hit something really important, Dominique. Most people don't connect or don't make the move. They have the opportunity, but the confidence is not there. So they're just a little like, eh. I mean, honestly, even deals that I've done, if I was not getting this ongoing education, I probably would have dreamed about it. But it's one thing to dream, but then at some point, if you're going to grow, you have to become decisive and make decisions. But you don't want to make decisions that you don't feel like you're not adequate enough to make the decisions. And so, again, I think Towerverse is very important. And, we have 6 sessions, guys, every single night where you can get on and hear from brilliant educators every single night. And if you missed the live, you can go back and watch the replay. But I tell people, treat it like Netflix. Tell yourself, okay, I got 30 minutes, I'm gonna watch a Tavaflix, right? Then I'll go to Netflix, or then I'll go to Hulu, then I'll go. But you really do have to become a subject matter expert in that. Anything that you want to master, you have to become a student of. And wealth is a language. And so real estate is a language, right? It's an asset class. And so the more you familiarize yourself with the language, then when it's time to write the essay, right? Or sit down and have a full-blown conversation, you can feel really confident in that. And so I think I'm glad that you brought that of course you talked to people of color who said, hey, I want to get a house, hey, I want to, get a house here, get a house there. But a lot of times they didn't move because of the education. And again, that's what you're going to get here at Tavaverse. So talk a little bit about, first of all, do we have any more inventory yet?
Not yet, but it's coming soon. Coming
Okay,
really soon.
okay. We've been selling out. So that part is doing great. As soon as we get the properties, we push it in the community, and it's been going pretty quick. Talk about the timing of it. I think, again, getting education is important because sometimes people are saying, hey, I'll do it later. But later, you could miss your window because those houses go pretty fast once we release it to the community.
Yeah, I think overall, like making the step forward now or as soon as you can, right? Because I have so many investors who, once they, take that step forward, they're like, why didn't I do this before? Right? Like, oh wow, it's much more competitive now. Things are inflating. That's just the world that we're living in. Inflation is at an all-time high, right? So we have to really think about our now and prepare for the future. We don't want to be a person who's looking back and saying, I should have, right? And I think that's just really important. So I think, as far as timeline, this is the perfect time. We've been talking a lot about private investors picking up a lot of residential real estate and what that'll look like as they come to monopolize the real estate market, especially the rental market. So this is the opportunity. And I think we just have to really seize this moment and move forward. Right. And I think, we can often think about every risk that is involved, every negative thing that is involved, but there's really nothing in life that does not have a risk or some sort of negative aspect that could happen. Right. But you really can't go wrong with owning something and building that legacy and having that residual income and something that you can pass down, sell later. Just so many creative things that you can do within real estate. And that's one thing that I've learned just throughout my journey. There's so many different ways. And, since I've been a member of Tavaverse, I've been able to continue to learn about that and hear other testimonies as well.
Yeah, and I think you said something, Dominique, that's important. Hearing other testimonies, hearing strategies, I can't remember who I heard it from, one of my mentors, it might have been Kim Kiyosaki. Like, you could say, okay, Jewel, this apartment building is for your lifestyle. This apartment building is for your children's tuition. This apartment building is for your parents. This apartment, like you can start assigning properties, to different areas of your lifestyle so that you never ever have to go back to work. Most people, if they are in a position where they got $5,000 or $10,000 a month coming in, they're good. I mean, that could be, a matter of 5 or 10 homes. Are you seeing? Is there any difference between you finding good inventory now than 3 years ago? Is it easier now than it was 3 years ago, or was it harder 3 years ago and easier now, or what's that?
I mean, it's definitely harder now, right? 3 years ago, things were not as expensive. We were not living in the times that we're living in now, right? It is still possible. There's still the opportunity to grab real estate. I'm still actively buying. Within the past couple weeks, I've purchased a couple extra properties. So I'm continuing to build my portfolio. So it's still out there, it's still possible. But if we're having this conversation a year from now, I think there's a ton of opportunity that could have been missed.
Yeah, no, and I think that's important. I mean, I think opportunity will always be there, but I do think everything is about timing. And I always go back to the Rockefeller model when they were making all that money during the Great Depression, and he took a lot of the millions that he was making in Standard Oil and putting multiple millions of dollars. They said he would have been a billionaire in today's time. We actually went to New York and studied his model in Martha's Vineyard. And he put, it would be, like I said, equated to billions in the real estate market. And now he's taking care of 55 family members today. And, he was buying those homes probably for little of nothing. And now those same homes are probably worth, 6-7 figures. And the cash flow, because this is what you got to think about. How much was rent for a 1-bedroom 10 years ago? How much was, rent for a 2-bedroom? How much was a house 10 years ago? So even when the real estate market, quote unquote, crashes, real estate is always bullish, right? It's always at the end of the day, it's going to be bullish. And so I think the sooner you can get in and the sooner you can start acquiring, the sooner you can look up. And 10 years later, Dominica, I always think about my husband's cousins. There's cute little older couple. They're so modest, like you would never know. And they came and visited us with their little cute selves. And and they're traveling all over the place. He was a principal and she was a school teacher. And I mean, at any given time we could call, we're in Colorado, we're in Hawaii, we're in Toronto. I mean, they're like moving around, honest to God. And I remember talking to them like, wow, your pension really did good, And that's where I kind of found out the story that they had actually taken and, invested and bought like 15 homes in a subdivision, like 30 something years ago. They were taking their money where a lot of their friends were putting it in 401k and they were putting it in the ground. And so they have 15 homes today and that cash flow is coming in. And you already know the rent's probably gone up, it's 30 years ago. So gosh, they're probably 10x, 15, 20x their money. And all the houses they own free and clear. I mean, I was blown away with that. And I was like, that's what we want people to do. We want to put you in position to be able to do just that. And so we're going to get ready to wrap. If you invited some people on here tonight, get back with the person that invited you on here and tell them, hey guys, I'm ready to join Tavaverse. I need to be in this community. I need to be able to learn about credit. I need to learn about the banking. I need to get the money so that I can buy these single family homes or these multifamily homes. And so Dominique, for somebody listening who's maybe, they got in real estate, but still just didn't quite know what they were doing, or maybe they've never been in real estate, what would you say for a person that really wants to build wealth? What would you tell them?
Make a plan, create a vision, and execute it. I think it's as simple as that, and making sure that you have people around you that you can learn from. Of course, you want to position yourself around people who are making things happen, who are doing great things within real estate, but also having other people who are learning alongside you, having thought partners in this work as well. So putting the right people around you, making the plan, creating the vision, and executing it, and just doing it.
Yeah, that's good. You got to make the plan. You got to execute it. I mean, I'm tripping. We're already September.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? It's about to be like 2024 in like 2 hot seconds. And so now's the perfect time to make a decision to say, you know what, this year, I don't know what this year looked like for you. Maybe it's been a great year. Maybe it's been a challenging year. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, I want to encourage you to make a decision to say, you know what, I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to partner with the Dominique. I'm ready to partner with the Jewel. I want to partner with a Marquita, Camille. I want to partner with this community because I need to grow. I need to scale. So Dominique, thanks for jumping on tonight. I'll be looking for that inventory. Okay.
Perfect. As soon as I have it, I'll send it over.
Absolutely.
Really excited.
Have a good night. You guys have a good night. Bye-bye.